Hey guys, hi y'all, another beer video at Fort George Beer today. Fort George is out of Astoria, Oregon, if you didn't know. And I got their Cathedral Tree today, barrel fermented Pilsner at 4.8% ABV. Never had this before. I have never even heard of it before. It might be a new brew for them. I'm not sure. You would have to look that up. I don't look things up. I just go to the store. I see beers that intrigue me that I want to try, and then I get them. I hardly ever read up on it, or I guess I do sometimes after the fact, maybe after like buying it, drinking it, and go, oh wow, that's like, pretty good. Let's look this up. And I rarely read the can before doing a video. It's just I don't want to be persuaded one way or another, but I read things like this, like alcohol content, barrel fermented Pilsner. But if there was other text, like a description of the beer or whatever, I don't read it until after the video, just because I don't want to be persuaded one way or another. Like I said, and it was canned on 10/7/19. Today is the 26th, so it's just a little bit over 2 weeks old. And it says "Where Squirrels Worship." Check that out right there. Let me block the light a little bit, maybe you can see that. And the can artwork, very cool cathedral right there. Very fitting for this beer's name. And then the roots I guess, from the building runs deep. Goes all the way around the can. Very cool can, man. Let's get this into a glass. See what it looks like, smells like, it tastes like. I'm having a hard time speaking today for some reason. 4.8% ABV. I think I mentioned that, but it doesn't hurt to mention it again, just in case I failed to mention it before. Into the glass we go. Pours just like a Pilsner. Surprise, surprise. Leave it at that. And I poured a little bit more aggressively than I normally would, just because I didn't want beer to go everywhere. But it poured with, I'm going to call that just slightly under 4 fingers of head. Looks very soapy, very foamy. I would say mostly white, just a hint of it's like pale yellow, I suppose. But very soapy, very foamy, just all sizes of bubbles there, ranging from extremely tiny to larger ones. I would call them large bubbles. And the carbonation there, you can see the carbonation bubbles rising to the top there rapidly. The color is just very yellow gold. Yeah, yellow gold color. I would say more yellow than gold. It's like straw. It is definitely straw for sure. Not cloudy, not hazy. Fairly clear beer, man, as expected. I'm gonna wait for the bubbles to settle down just a tad more before I shove my nose in there. But carbonation on this, I'm expecting it to be fairly crisp, man. Like very, I wouldn't say like 7-Up or Sprite crisp. I don't expect it to be that carbonated, but it looks like it's going to be fairly crisp, man, with all that carbonation coming up there. Let's try to get the aroma on this. I think that's enough. That's enough dissipation of the head. Oh man, it smells extremely floral, very Pilsner, like all these Pilsner beers that I've been trying or making videos of and just drinking in general. They have Pilsners have this very distinct Pilsner lager smell to it. Like you know it's a Pilsner. There's no mistaking that for sure. Yeah, yeasty, floral, like grassy, I suppose. Yeah, grassy is a term that I use a lot when I describe Pilsner. I wouldn't say barnyardy, but like grassy, hay. There we go. Grassy hay. I think that's there's a car driving by. It's kind of loud. Grassy, hay. Floral is not something I use often to describe Pilsners, but this one is very floral. Maybe a touch of like pears or apples even. I would say pears, man. I usually don't get that in Pilsners either. But I would say pears. And I just realized how far I'm showing my nose in here and how close the beer is getting to my nose. Yeah, I'm gonna say very typical Pilsner smell with more floral note and a tad of like a pear-apple combination. Just a tad though on the nose there. Let's get the flavor. Cheers. Yeah, it's definitely a different tasting Pilsner, that's for sure. Crisp, just like I expected with all the carbonation there. Finishes slightly bitter, but like a grassy, oh, and a slight honey flavor to it too. Yeah, slightly bitter, just right in the middle of the palate there, like a grassy, herbal bitter, like a Chinese medicine type bitter. I know I say that a lot, and not a whole lot of people can relate to that, but it's just, I would say grassy. Let's call it grassy bitter. Like if you were to eat like a handful of grass, I assume this is what it would taste like, just because it smells like it, and I might have had eaten grass by accident or something as a child, but yeah, up front, definitely grassy, floral. I wouldn't call it herbaceous, but it's definitely like leafy, like a leafy green, like if you were eating grass, like I mentioned, or leaves, or something like that, like some kind of vegetation up there, up front. And then it goes out to this vegetation, herbal bitterness and sweetness, like honey, not cloyingly sweet honey, but like just a tad of like a drop of honey, and it kind of just makes everything pretty good. It wraps it up very nicely. Light body, kind of what you would expect out of the Pilsner. Finishes, I wouldn't say dry or anything, just like, if anything, I would say it's slightly drier than if you were to drink like an IPA or like another Pilsner, I suppose. It's that bittering aftertaste that kind of makes it drier, I suppose. Is what I'm kind of noticing from this beer anyways. And overall, I think it's a pretty good beer, pretty good Pilsner. The bitterness might throw some people off if you're like really big into New England style IPAs. Yeah, IPAs. This might be a little too bitter for you. I don't usually get bitterness from Pilsner, so this is a little weird to me. Let me get our sip. And there's this other flavor too. Not really sure what it is. I'm gonna say it's like woody, like oak. I totally forgot that it's barreled fermented, so you do get this woody. It's not huge woody, but it's in that bitterness as well. It's like oaky, woody. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it, but within that bitterness where you're getting that woody, oaky flavor, and slight biscuity, like fresh baked bread as well. Just a tad of that, not a whole lot, and that's also another flavor that I usually get in Pilsners, like just like grainy, biscuity bread flavor. Not a whole lot of that on this beer, but definitely a lot of wood, a lot of oak, bitterness-ish with that grassy vegetation, bitterness in the end, and slight honey, and just floral notes all around, man. It's a drinkable beer, definitely crushable. I poured probably half the can, and I have like this is a very narrow glass, so it's very little beer left. There's probably maybe 5 ounces in here. Very crushable beer, man. Anyways, this is Fort George's Cathedral Tree, 4.8% ABV, barrel fermented Pilsner. If you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up, comments leave below, and I forgot to mention, I recommend trying this. Like, I wouldn't trade nothing crazy for it because I think it's just sitting on shelves all the time. It might be like a year-round beer for them, I don't know, maybe just a seasonal, but it's nothing that's super hyped up, so trade for it, might get it, ask for it as an extra, toss in something, your shelfie for this shelfie. I don't know, you figure it out. But if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, subscribe for more videos, and as always, dream big dreams and believe all things are possible. Thank you for watching. Cheers.